So yesterday I had an opportunity to talk to a friend who's currently in an addiction recovery program, and she was telling me that she's at that place where she's trying to make amends. So she's trying to make apologies and set things right with people that, she's had conflict with in the past or whatever. But the problem is that her sponsor told her you cannot make it an amends to somebody unless it's in person. Wait until you are in person. That really concerns her for two reasons. One, she has a friend that she knows she has to make amends to. She has no idea when the next time that she's going to see her. She's like, it might be 2 years. And her sponsor was like, well, then wait 2 years. It's gone on this long. It can wait. It can wait 2 years. It has to be done in person. And then the other one is her brother, who's in his 80s, and she honestly doesn't know if he will live long enough to see her again. And she's like, I have this amends I have to make to my brother, but she's telling me I can't do it unless I'm doing it in person. So I don't know what to do. Do I do it but then lie? Well, I can't lie. I got to be honest. And so all of these things, she's really, really struggling. So I explained to her is the point of amends. I'm going to tell you right now what is the point of amends, and hopefully that will help guide you as you go through this process yourself. So whether or not you're in an addiction recovery program or not, it kind of doesn't matter. Let me tell you what the point is of addiction recovery and like what we're doing to find success, and then also why amends are important. So when you go into addiction recovery, like the best way to do it seriously is to just realize that what you're doing with your addiction is like you're in a place of emotional dysregulation, and you're just trying to find something that's going to give you that relief. Our addictions are really good at that. Super good. That's why we go to them. Because when you're in that place of like fight or flight or crisis mode, all you know is like you need relief. You're not thinking about anything else, anyone else. You just know you need to calm your nervous system and like relax. So you go to your addiction. It works really, really good. There's side effects, obviously, and it's not a great solution, but for the problem of being dysregulated, at least for a few minutes, great solution for a minute. And so what we're doing in addiction recovery is you're trying to, find something else that's going to give you that same regulation, but in a really safe way without those side effects. And so for me, my program has been to use my higher power, like to rely on my higher power to come into that space with me, to recognize when I'm emotionally dysregulated and ask him for his help to get back to a place of calm, peace, joy, serenity, a feeling of safety. And so it's amazing because as I have learned to do that, like I just have lost my use for my addiction. I've lost my desire for my addiction because quite frankly, God just does it better. He does it better. He does it faster. It lasts way longer. And when I'm in that place, I just need relief. And I have found the thing that works way better than my addiction. So I go to God. And it's awesome. It's also really cool because when you're in that place, when your heart is like committed to happiness, joy, peace, security, that's the best place to be in order to make decisions that shape your life. You're going to make decisions every day. The decisions you make equate to the life that you live. If you find yourself in a place of emotional dysregulation, fear, resentment, you're being affected by selfishness, dishonesty, on all these things, and that's where you are when you make decisions, well, that's also going to shape your life. They're not going to be great choices. They're not going to create a really great life for you. So that's what we're trying to do, is man that space very carefully of what we're feeling, our emotions, keep our heart reserved for those good feelings, recognize when we're out of like alignment with those, and try to get back there as fast as possible. So addiction recovery is all about learning how to do that on demand. For me, I use my higher power for that. It works really awesome. I love it. Well, then here's the other part of it. It's not just enough to be able to figure that out and how to do that for yourself. Once you recognize like that's the point of all things, you also have to broaden your perspective and be thinking about your neighbor, be thinking about the other people in your life. You want to do your part to create that experience for them as much as possible. Now, once you realize this and you're living like this, it's going to come fairly naturally for you to be able to show up in the world better and healthier in your relationships and make more positive deposits and to be kind and influence other people's lives in really positive ways, which is awesome. But the problem is, well, if you're just learning these concepts, if you're just being able to figure out now, like how to do that, well, you have a whole life that you've already lived. And in a lot of instances, there's just a lot of people that we've already hurt because we were making decisions from a place of fear or anger or resentment, or maybe we're just retaliating to things that were done to us. Or there's a million scenarios where you can think of where, okay, I have caused hurt to somebody, whether or not you feel like it was justified, whether or not you feel like, they hurt you first, or maybe you guys were just in a ping pong match of pain. Whatever. Now, as you move into addiction recovery, you want to make sure that you're committed to always taking responsibility for the messes that you're making in your life and the lives around you, and using God just kind of as your, wingman and making sure you can do that. So when you move into an amends place, what you're doing is you're trying to clean up those messes that you've made, because you want to give the other person the best fighting chance to also be able to let go of pain in their life. If you see where you have created pain in someone else's life, yes, you want to go back and you want to clean that up so that they have an opportunity, their best fighting chance and opportunity, to also be able to have their heart only reserved for those very, very best things. Now, it's up to them if they accept your apology. That's not on you. You can't control that. It's up to them whether or not they forgive or let go of fear and resentment or move into this, way of living where they can reserve their heart for those things. That's between them and their higher power. But at least you know that you've done your part. And that's what an amends is. So does it have to be done in person? No, it doesn't. Do it fast. Do it as soon as you can. Take the opportunities you have. And if you can understand what is the point of the amends, then I think you'll have a better perspective of how you want to do it and why you're doing it. Don't be too, rigid in the script that you're following. Just understand, overall, what are we doing here? Well, like I said, addiction recovery is you're manning that space in your own life, but you also want to make sure you're very careful to be protective of the spaces that you hold in other people's lives. And so where you have done wrong, clean it up. If it's in the past, it's not too late, clean it up. And that's going to be healing for you both, because you'll be in a place where, okay, I can forgive and let that go. I'm not living with that regret anymore. I'm not living with that resentment anymore. I'm not afraid to run into that person at Walmart anymore. You will walk forward with this huge weight lifted off of you, and this sense of freedom of, I've given it away. I've given it to God. That's no longer something that I'm holding and managing, but then also it's a gift that you're giving to the other person too. And so, and even if you don't feel like that's someone you want to give a gift to, I'm just saying, it's still your responsibility to clean up that mess, so it's not an extra weight around their neck. And so, like I said, if you can take this and look at it from the perspective of the other person and be motivated by love and compassion, awesome. If you're not there yet, I get it. At least understand that that's the best chance that you have for recovery, because at least it's not something that you're holding on to anymore. So it works both ways. That's kind of the point of what you're doing. And so, yeah, I hope that's helpful for you. If you found this helpful, please subscribe to my newsletter. You'll find that link below or in my bio, where I send out tips like this all the time, every week. And so I'd love to have you plugged in and be following along for things like this and things I'll continue to share with you in the future.